Welcome to the Metroidvania Review official stream. I am Professor Q, and I have here with me today Nick.
Hi, how's it going, everybody?
Hey, Nick, you want to introduce the game we're playing? It's a little known title, so I figured that you might know a thing or two about it.
Yeah, it's a low-key indie title called Hollow Knight.
Empty Night. That somebody should make a game called Empty Night. So when I originally played this game 3 years ago, and by the way, just some disclaimers, I haven't played this game for 3 years for more than 2 hours, which I've used to record footage for videos. So there's a lot that I don't
We
remember.
expect the very best.
Yeah, so this is not a pro gamer. If anything, this is akin to a blind run, because as soon as I get to the DLC content that I missed 3 years ago when I originally played this, it will indeed be blind. Now, I have gotten the true ending when I initially played it, so I do have some experience with the game going up to that point, but it'll be interesting to see how this turns out. I wanted to play this before Silksong came out, and I was really worried that it would come out surprisingly, but it looks like we have plenty of time to finish this now, unfortunately. So I'm going to go ahead and...
We're going to hear all about Silksong over the course of this run.
Welcome,
so what are the
Enemy Era.
contentions? Are you going to play all the way through and try to beat the DLC? Because
That's the whole point of this run. I figured we'd start from the beginning just to... Because I need practice to get up to that point, I think. If I went straight to the DLC, then that would be hilarious. But...
yeah, that would be impossible.
Anyway.
The boss run DLC is insane.
So I called you, Nick, my lore expert, because I actually haven't dove into the lore. I only know what I know from playing the game. And I know that you've probably watched some things. Now, I want to just add a disclaimer that Nick is by no means a lore expert.
No, I am not. Well, I mean, I am, but instead of going to, college for this lore, I watched a couple of videos on YouTube.
Yeah, so basically he's plagiarizing what other people on YouTube have said.
Yeah.
If you can cite your sources wherever you can, if sources, I mean, obviously you can derive these things from the game itself too, but anyway, we'll go ahead and get started. And again, welcome Anime RR. I'm glad to see you. Thanks for coming. Let's get started. Let the nice music play. I love these quotes. You can just make something seem so profound by just adding a little dash and then who said it.
As soon as you give credit to somebody, then it's more important.
I should quote myself more often. In fact, I should replace the intro that I normally put at the beginning of these before I put it on YouTube with a quote for myself.
People are going to think you're, way more influential. I mean, he's got quotes.
So I like that this intro makes it seem like this just happened.
Yeah.
Maybe this is in the past at some point. I also think it's interesting where the knight that you play as comes from, given, what he is.
Which we'll get to in about a month and a half.
Maybe a month and a half. Oh, that's another thing. I'm going to try and go as fast as I can to get to the DLC content, but of course, I haven't played for 3 years, so I'm definitely not going to remember where to go all the time. And I won't be using a guide like I did with Environmental Station Alpha, so partially because... What's that?
I played through this the second time probably 2 years ago, so it's a little fresher in my head.
Yeah. Well, I got the first 2 hours down pretty pat, so these first 2 weeks will go really smooth, and then after that it'll be kind of it'll be similar to a blind run at that point. I obviously I'm not playing blind. And
so how many Metroidvanias that you've played have you go back to the immediate spot where you started, and then you find more area to explore behind that area?
This one doesn't do that. I think this is just a tutorial thing.
Sure does. Yeah, you double back through here.
Do you do it for the DLC? Because I don't think you did originally.
Yeah, you do. It's the cliffs. The the wastes, I think they call it.
Oh, right, there's the butterfly room. That's right. I remember that.
It's a substantial area back there.
Okay, I'm barely remembering this. Let me think. Super Metroid does it. So most of the Castlevanias don't really let you make you go back to the entrance very often. Like, you do it a lot in Bloodstain just because it's a convenient way to get back into the castle every time you go back to town, but... Although technically you're probably using the warp point at that point. I don't think I can jump over this. I think you have to fall here. Although I should have fell to the left. Well,
You're not going to get your health goober?
I'm getting it right now.
It was up. It was on the left. You passed it.
What health goober?
Oh,
you mean the blue stuff. The blue goo. No, I didn't get the blue goo.
You're going to get it all at once?
That's always fun to do. I don't need it right now. But it does regenerate eventually, right? Like, after a while?
I don't think so.
Huh. Well, then we'll leave it.
I could be wrong. Let me pull up the wiki.
Yeah. That's how Nick is the lore expert for this. He's the wiki expert.
I actually am not looking at the wiki. Everything I say from now on is just straight from my memory.
Straight from your memory. Okay.
I don't know what wikis are.
Please don't sue us for not citing sources.
You know what's funny if you think about wikis and people calling wikis? It's, yeah, see, goo. Oh, yeah, keep in mind I'm like 10 seconds behind you.
Yeah, I was about to say. I'm already gone, buddy.
But, so, wikis, calling them wikis is based on, obviously, Wikipedia.
Uh-huh.
So when they created all of their own for individual things like games and stuff, they called them wikis, but shouldn't they have called them pedias?
I don't know.
Because the pedia is from encyclopedia. Wiki is just made up, isn't it? I mean, what does wiki mean?
There's gotta be something. You could probably look that up on Wikipedia. There has to be a reason why they made up wiki. I don't think they just made up the word. There's got to be some root there.
Oh, a wiki is a website that allows collaborative editing of its content and structure by its users. Okay, well, I guess that makes sense then.
I hope you don't mind I'm skipping dialogue.
I think everybody that is going to watch this has already played this.
Yeah. So he basically says, well, I'll probably read some dialogue later on, but... I'll start reading dialogue after this. I think that's probably good. But I'm skipping his dialogue, because all he says is that the town is empty and you should go down the well.
I like the lamps up here.
He's establishing mystery. Okay, I think you want to go to the right first. I think. Again, just going from...
You can go whatever way you want.
I think you want to go in here, and then you activate the main goal.
Yeah, I think it marks your... Oh, wait, you don't even have a map yet.
So I am Quirrell. I have something of an obsession with uncharted places. This is a character that I never connected with. Like, a lot of people do fan art of him, but they do fan art of everything Hollow Knight.
Right.
But I'm going to try and connect with this guy a little bit more. Like, Zote is more memorable to me. Quirrell is the one I just forget about. This ancient kingdom holds many fascinating mysteries, and one of the most intriguing of them is standing right before us. A great stone egg lying in the corpse of an ancient kingdom. This egg. Is it warm? It certainly gives off a unique air. Can it be opened? There are strange marks all over it. I love the boss faces that... the boss-locked doors in these games. I do so love a mystery, and who knows what other marvels lie deeper below us. He's like Mr. Exposition Dump is kind of his role in the game.
Well, I mean, you gotta have somebody before Hornet shows up.
I guess. That's the other thing, is that my memory of this game is that it's very, lonely, but there's actually a lot of NPCs in this game.
The thing that bums me out about a lot of the NPCs is if you don't send them up to the town. So if they don't end up there, if they stay down here, as the game progresses, they all pretty much lose their minds.
The funny thing about that is that's practically a trope. That's one of the reasons why a lot of people thought this game was a Souls-like for such a long time. I don't know if there's a narrative that says that anymore, but any
What,
of
that
these
they go
games.
nuts?
Yeah, like, well, that happens in Dark Souls, that everybody goes nuts in Dark Souls. Regardless of what you do.
Including the player.
In fact, finishing their quests is usually the fastest way to make them go nuts. Yes, even the players most of the time. Oh, there's a stalactite there. I barely didn't even see that. I love these enemies because they're so easy. They get more complex later on. So I always do this every time I start a new game of this, and I've done it a few times just for footage reasons. But I always come this way thinking I'm heading towards the station.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think this is where we can go for the other thing. So what were you going to say?
I just love the architecture in this game. The shells and like the golden ratio that shows up everywhere. It's so good.
Yeah. Honestly, if you have a good artist, as far as like the popularity of your game goes, that is the thing that I think really makes it happen. Like, there are a lot of good games out there that have, you know, not necessarily bad graphics, but not visually appealing to anyone outside of like for instance, for Environmental Station Alpha. I think the graphics in that game are good, but I'm also a 37-year-old who grew up with Nintendo, which not everybody's going to look at that and be attracted to that. I have a fondness for exploring myself. Getting lost and finding your way is a pleasure like no other. We are exquisitely lucky, you and I. I'm a cartographer by trade, and I'm working on mapping this area right now. Would you like to buy a copy of my work so far? Absolutely. Yeah, it's only 30. That's nice. We're saving up for the lamp because I want to get it as soon as possible, so we're probably not spending money on anything but maps. And then blah, blah, blah. Maps are useful, of course.
I actually legitimately really enjoyed the map system in this game. I know it's divisive, but
Yeah.
I think it feels very
Oh, shoot. Chipping in the
real.
spikes.
Nope.
Yeah, there's a sense of realism to it. What I like about it is that it's also... I'm going to use a word that I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos use, but diegetic.
Diegetic?
Yeah, you know the word diegetic? It means
No,
it's happening in universe.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Makes sense, right? And
That makes total sense for this.
I totally agree, Rocket. It doesn't... So one of the problems that maps have in Metroidvania games is that oftentimes you spend your time looking at the map, and that is what you have the memory of the most. Oh gosh, I shouldn't have done that.
Well,
I was trying to get that
Pull the
geo.
map up real quick. Let's talk about the map.
We'll talk about the map after I'm not dying to this spitter.
Oh, you weren't dying yet on my screen. Oh man.
I went to try and grab a geo and I got locked into this room. Oh. So I gotta focus on
Like,
that.
hey man, how about we be annoying? How does that sound?
Okay. Let me go grab this geo, and then there's another geocache over there that if I don't get it, I'm gonna be thinking about that instead of anything else we'd be discussing. So somebody said that they didn't like this game because the geo will fall off the cliffs.
I mean...
Oh gosh. I mean, I'm not saying that that's an illegitimate
common
complaint, but...
in this genre, yeah.
See, this is cool, how they hid that secret passage behind there in this little tutorial of secret passages.
Yeah, so now smashing walls will...
This entire playthrough is going to be a ton of praise, by the way. So,
oh yeah, this game's near perfect.
So yeah, it's diegetic. The knight literally pulls out the map. It doesn't pause the game. And
It doesn't pause the game. And what I love about this map is it's not just a bunch of connected, like, squares. There's geometry to the map, and there's also, like, very obvious landmarks on the map. So even though your icon doesn't show up on the map unless you equip something special later, you can still tell where you are using the level geometry and the landmarks in the world.
Right.
Like I can make my way around this map even without the map, just because the areas are so diverse and unique.
The charm that gives you the ability to see where you are on the map is sort of like the shield in Dark Souls. Like, it feels like a safety net. You know, it's a comfort item. But once you understand the game's mechanics, you can just take it off. And
yeah, I mean, it's not like I think it only eats up one charm slot, so it's not like it eats up a bunch. It's not a detriment in any way.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a slight power decrease, and you know, you're going to want to probably change it for when you're heading towards a boss. But
We're going totally different way from how I normally go.
Yeah, I'm going underneath. Well, I tend to like to get the map early on because then I can start updating it right away. But also, yeah, I tend to get lost in this area, which is a sign of
Nothing wrong with that.
Nicely designed. I mean, getting lost isn't always a good thing, but I mean, I'm lost, but I'm still going the right direction, if that makes sense.
So I pulled up. I mean, I remembered about Coral, and apparently, according to a comic, he had actually left Hollow Nest and returned, but had most of his memory had been lost.
Oh, interesting.
And he was actually an apprentice of Monomon, the floaty teacher. She's one of the dreamers.
Oh. I actually kind of remember that being one of the boss things.
But he's got her mask on his head. That's what his helmet is her mask.
This guy basically says he loves being ridden on. It's kind of
I mean, he's got chairs. If I had chairs on me, I'd probably love being ridden on too.
I think it's interesting, the idea that you can talk to your horse. Like, all right, let me see where we are real quick. I'm pretty sure if I sit in that bench, I'll get this room in, so that'll give me an idea of where I am. I also like how this map has like this nice big head where... Oh, did that not update? What's going on here? Yeah, whatever. We'll just keep going.
Maybe it's a different map?
No, this is the right place. Let's start complaining about the map now. I'm just kidding.
God, the map is just garbage.
This map is awful. I don't know where I am. No, I'm pretty sure this is the right way.
I mean, it's when you first get the map. So for people that haven't played this game, which is nobody, later you get tokens that you can add to the map. So if you find certain things that you want to come back to or save points, you can mark them manually on the map.
Oops, got greedy. Did that do 2 damage to me? Yikes.
Oh, do you get a separate item?
Is that what it is? Okay. You do have to have a quill. Yeah, we'll get back to the Hollow Nest eventually. I'm not in any huge hurry. I do like that the knight is like an artist. I mean, that usually goes hand in hand with swordplay. You know, they say that practicing your penmanship is your coordination for sword fighting.
Yeah.
But he's like this great cartographer. It's funny.
He's just as good as the actual cartographer.
Right. If not better. I think his drawings are better than the cartographer's, actually, because look how sketchy this map is.
True. But he's still sketching it out. Oh, man.
Jump over me. Oops. I did that wrong. I love this boss, even though he's easy. Oh. I gotta be careful.
It was the first dream fight I did, I think. Or maybe the second.
I think he's the easiest dream fight, right? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, he's definitely easier. I mean, he's one of the first bosses, so it makes sense.
Yeah, I know it does. He's doing this little wave smash.
They,
Then we have to...
Oh. There.
The jelly bean. I love the yellow coming out of things as if it's blood, but you know, you find out later.
It's radiance. I do like when the world changes, even though they block off a path for seemingly no reason.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, so that's another controversial opinion right there. But I like it too. I think it's neat.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
In fact, blocking off the path is like the only way to keep it memorable.
True. Otherwise, it's just aesthetic changes.
Right. Do your thing while I go ahead and have a snack. Alright. I want my dash. It's coming. It's coming. Whoops. Forgot the shockwave.
So, we're fighting here. This is the False Knight. He's a maggot, and he's wearing the armor of Hegemal. And Hegemal, well...
Oh, okay.
One of the...
bad timing for that.
He was one of the great knights, wasn't he? Hold on. Let me remember. The lore of this game is so interconnected. Like, everybody is connected to somebody else, which I really like.
I don't think I'm getting health back, or getting energy back when I hit him with his armor, which would make sense. Because there's no actual, I don't know, soul power or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, you're just beating on something inanimate. There we go. I like when you go up later and like his friends are sitting around him and like mourning his death.
Yeah.
There's so many like little mildly sad things in this game.
Oh, that's great. This game's got a lot of tragedy in it, which is fantastic. And yeah, Grokken, when I was recording footage for like the video I did last week, I was just like, I want to keep playing this. And we're like, oh yeah, we're going to be doing this on stream soon. So,
yeah, this is undoubtedly going to make me want to play the game.
I think the thing that everybody's looking forward to is watching me fail when we get to the Pantheon.
Oh man. If you are worried about Pantheon...
Oh, is Pantheon not the worst of it?
Oh wait, is Pantheon... Is that the boss rush? Ending in Radiance 2?
I actually have no idea. I just know that people talk about Nightmare King Grim and how awful he is.
Oh, gosh. I didn't do it. I haven't. I don't think it's possible. I got to a point... You ever get to a point with something where you're like, I can't do this. Like, this is not within the realm of my abilities.
Often, however, I have to. So.
But then if you go and do it, then you were wrong. I'm saying there are certain things where, like, I don't think it matters how many times I tried. Well, I guess that's not true. If I tried it over and over, 8 hours a day.
Sure. Well, you
7 days a week.
You take a look at that, and you can get a pretty good estimate of, like, okay, this is going to take more time than it's worth.
Right. I guess that's the better way to put it.
This is also an interesting NPC. She's basically here to give you this spell, and I don't think she comes up again. Let me know if she does. I don't remember.
Struck me as somebody that would show up multiple times, and yet there's a lot of people that are just like in their one area, and yet they're memorable. Like,
yeah, no, she's memorable. That's the funniest part about her, is that I actually remember her more than Coral for some reason, even though she's literally right here to make it so you can shoot your laser gun.
Like the two little side NPCs that stand out more than a lot of other ones do to me. Number one is the miner that you run into in the
really
Crystal Caves.
for some reason. It's because she's so like cute and like positive.
And then not.
Right. Then it's just like, so I don't know, like you feel bad that what happens, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I did, yeah.
Spoiler alert,
and
everybody.
The other one is the I believe she's in Queen's Station. The like giraffe bug that's like eating the little fruits up in the trees.
She's memorable because she's like a cannibal, isn't she?
I honestly don't remember what that turns into, but
I think she's a cannibal. I think she's actually evil, but she's also very positive and chipper.
Well, that's a lot of these people. I mean,
right.
Like Grubs being the perfect example.
Like if you're comparing this to Dark Souls, like the whole thing behind Dark Souls is that you go hollow if you lose hope, and the people that are strong are. Am I going the wrong way or am I going the right way? I want to go the wrong way. Let's keep going this way. We want to keep going the wrong way because I think there's things in here. So like anybody who is hopeful, is going to continue being okay.
Sure.
For the most part. Whereas in this game, it seems like all of the hopeful people are the ones that lose it.
I think it's honestly
different rules.
It's the sickness down here. It just plays directly into it because the people
Right.
up above that aren't exposed don't go crazy.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting. It also is a sign that you are different in some way.
Well, and look at
I just lost all of those. I should have kept slashing. Oh well. Oh, there's one right here.
some of the only areas outside of the town where people don't go nuts. Things like the arena. The arena is like way above ground, like at the top of that mountain. So it kind of makes sense that those people wouldn't be impacted as much.
Right. Yeah, this is the closest proximity to where the problems are happening too.
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
the sources of problems.
I think you
Mini
need.
boss.
Oh, there we go.
Soul catcher. I actually should probably start equipping charms. You forget that these these are insect-based characters, so they might have different ways of thinking than stuff about stuff than humans. That's true. That's another nice thing about this setting is that it's like alien, but also familiar
Familiar.
fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that you know about bugs. You probably played with them as a kid. And it
It's
has that going for it.
when I first started playing this, it actually reminded me of when I was in grade school. One of the very few movies that we were allowed to watch in school. I was going to school. This would have been in like the late '80s, early '90s. One of the movies we could watch was a movie called Rats of Nim,
Oh gosh,
and we watched it a lot.
that is a
And
freaky movie to make
it's a super freaky movie.
to make a kids movie, or I mean, to like let kids watch. Yeah, we're back in the map room.
But that's what this reminded me of.
Let's go back to town and grab the quill before we move on.
Yeah, you want to be updating these.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I think that
Secret of
those
Nim, that's what it was, not Rats of Nim.
those early Dan Bluth, right, or Don Bluth? Gosh, his last name is Bluth.
I think sci-fi would be interesting. I should check that book out. I really liked the whole concept of like them creating a society.
Yeah, conceptually, it's one of those great. I mean, the best sci-fi is the kind that creates an allegory for our own lives, and there's a certain level of that going on there.
Sure. Well, high sci-fi and fantasy are basically the same thing.
Right. Well, of course. But the thing about sci-fi is, you're like, how does it asks the question, how does technology have an effect on us?
Right.
It's the Bafanafa lady. Or Bafanada. Let's see. Wayward compass. We don't need that. We're not going to buy it because we're going to save up for the lamp. I think that's all we need here. I should probably grab some pins. But I want to save my money for the lamp, so I'm going to go ahead and hold off. Most sci-fi ask how to kill aliens. That's true in video games. But we played Metroid a couple months, or was it like 2 months ago now? We finished the Metroid series, and even though that ultimately was about killing aliens, there was some depth to it as far as asking questions that...
Yeah, good sci-fi. I mean, I read a book called Desolation Road, which tragically very few people have heard of. And I feel like more than almost any other book, it does a phenomenal job combining sci-fi with fantasy and presenting sci-fi and technology as an almost unapproachable, unknowable force in the world.
Yeah. I will be getting all the grubs. I know that there's a bunch of grubs in this area that you're better off having some of the power-ups, though, so I'm not kind of going out my way to get them at this point.
Oh, should I be tracking what drugs you got?
Drugs. No.
Okay,
Because we can always take out the collector to get the list.
true.
I'm doing this for 5 Geo. All right, halt the stream, everybody. I gotta go get this 5 Geo. Oop. I don't know why I thought there was gonna be ground underneath that. I'm like, there's a platform there. All right. Right now we're rushing to get the dash ability because that is major. Oh, well, I guess I'm getting a grub anyway because I went the wrong direction.
And yeah, Ian McDonald's solid. Although, hands down, my favorite of his books is Desolation Road. He gets a little long-winded in some of his other books, including the sequel to Desolation Road, which I did not enjoy at all.
Am I going for 100%? We'll see. The main thing we're going after is doing the DLC. It depends on how close I am to 100% by the time we get to that point. Like, I'm not going to go out of my way to skip things or anything like that. I'm going to try and collect what I can, so there's a decent chance that it'll come reasonably close to that number, so we'll see what happens. Yes, I am dashing to get the dash ability, or attempting to. I'm trying to remember, is it... So there's the shopkeeper that is on the bottom side of this area. Is it better to wait until after you had the wall jump to attempt to get that, or can you go straight there after the dash? I'm trying to remember.
Oof.
Okay, this is a good path because there's greenery there.
Yeah,
so this is what we're talking about, stuff that just tells you where you are. Anyway.
Yeah. Changing from like the blue into the green.
Yeah, that bush gave me the... Oh yeah, and then there's the ability upgrade requirement to get through this. Whoops. Oh, yeah, this is... So the biggest... I think one of the hardest things about Hollow Knight, as far as like recommending it to people, is that it is a very slow burn. You have to be okay with that, I think. More so than a lot of other Metroidvania games.
I mean, honestly, there's a lot of... Like, there's so much just quiet in the game. Like, right now, there's no enemies for you to fight right here.
Right.
Which I think is really effective. Oh, there we go. There's one. But you broke his home first.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it just lets you enjoy the environment and enjoy the scenery, and then it introduces enemies into the area. But, I mean, it's not like they're everywhere. You're not under attack constantly.
Right. I wonder how many people
He's gonna blow.
Yeah, how many people were caught off guard when that thing blows up. I was. I'm not claiming that I was like a master player at that point. Actually, when I played this game, which was 3 years ago, like I'd like to think that I've gotten a lot better at Metroidvania games at this point, just after just pure experience. I'm interested. I would have been interested to see what would happen if I had played this game, for the first time now instead of when I did.
Yeah, what kind of impact it would have?
Because now I look at when I originally played this, I was using the true final boss as like my litmus test for like how many true final bosses out of 10 is this game.
Oh no, that was both you and me. The final boss of this game, hands down, was, I don't know, if not the most challenging gaming thing I've accomplished. It's in the top 3.
Yeah, but since then we played through Environmental Station Alpha on stream and a bunch of other things. I've been through a lot of really hard games at this point. I really wonder how I would have felt playing it for the first time after that experience. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it is amazing how much this was done. I think it was done solely by 2 people, with the music being done by... They hired somebody for the music who did a great job. And then I think there were a couple of other people on the team. But as far as like the main art and programming, it was just the 2 guys, I think.
It's funny, Dr. Octorocket brings up that the save points are far apart and the warps are far apart, and it made exploration feel a little too masochistic. I am, as Q will tell you, I complained non-stop. Oh, here we go, Hornet.
Yeah, just take a swipe at her because she's going to do that later.
In games like Dark Souls, it drives me insane when I have to go back through areas that I've already gone through because I died and had to retrace my steps. I hated it. And yet for some reason in this game, I don't know if it's because I didn't die as much or what, but it didn't bother me.
I think that ultimately it boils down to, so like when you're trying to criticize something, it's really easy to point at the wrong thing, and I'm not saying I don't do this, and I try to correct myself when I realize better what the actual root cause was. but oftentimes we'll blame, a specific element when it's not necessarily that element, but the execution of that element that is the problem. That's why I say that there's no such thing as bad game design, or there's no such thing as bad game mechanics, but bad implementation. Now, I'm not saying that it's implemented badly in Dark Souls. However, there may be something from a preference standpoint that was driving that. Like, for instance, people really don't like breaking weapons in Breath of the Wild. For, one reason or another. And there's a great video by Seed Gaming that he put out recently where he talks about how he never uses items in Pokemon because of that loss aversion that we all have. So,
I didn't have a problem with breaking weapons in Breath of the Wild because they were the primary loot. And if you kept every weapon you got, then the effectiveness of picking up loot, the excitement of picking up loot, is greatly diminished.
Sure, that's the argument in favor of it. Anyway, let me catch up with the comments, make sure I'm not missing those. Let's see. You don't even have to try and find grab your shade. Let's see. Sorry, why's my mouse not working? Let's see.
No, I get that.
All the elements are really great, but
makes sense.
Yeah, somehow they mesh in a way that's uncomfortable for and that's exactly. And you know what? If that's the case, you don't. There's nothing that says you have to like Hollow Knight. In fact, you could make long videos about it like Narelle does if you want, and that's perfectly fine. I think it's good to have that discussion because everybody's different and everybody appreciates different things.
Yeah, some people are just broken inside and they can't enjoy good, perfect things.
Like Dark Souls, right?
Yes, like Dark Souls, the greatest game ever.
Nick's been hollow all along, and that's why he became the Hollow Knight. I definitely understand wanting to like something and just not really getting into it. I don't really have any recommendations for that. I mean, obviously, being someone who reviews games, I have to learn to appreciate other people's how other people's tastes might affect, the appreciation of a game. There are a few games that I've given a 4 out of 5 that I don't actually like myself, but I understand what makes it good. And then the opposite's true. There are games I give like a 2.5 out of 5, which are actually some of my favorite games. But it's just like I can't recommend this to most people because it's completely broken or in some way, that type of thing.
Is this Bestiary guy? Oh,
yeah, this is the Bestiary guy, which is another just one-off NPC. I love that it's an NPC and not that you just find the Bestiary or Bestiary, however you want to pronounce it. But as far as like acquiring tastes, like there are also games that like I didn't think I would like, or I started out just absolutely hating it. In fact, I'm reviewing one this Monday, so stay tuned for that. Which might even get a video review. I just need to figure out what I need to do with the music because the game is practically silent for most of the time. I normally like putting music in my reviews, so I don't know if I'm going to try and put like, music from a different game or what. But
if you need some music, I can make it. I'll just be like, na 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 na, and then do that in the background for the entire review.
That sounds like the Katamari theme. Na 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 na.
Man, that game had such good music.
It did. It really did. Okay, Grab, let's do this.
Yeah, like there's a fair number of actually CRPGs that I really respect but cannot get into. CRPGs are a weird genre for me. It's a genre that I love to start and rarely finish.
Come on, I totally hit her. Yeah, that's the same thing for me. The problem I have with CRPGs is analysis paralysis, where I'm like, I don't like this build anymore. I'm bored of it.
Yeah, I feel like any CRPG should let you respec pretty much whenever you want.
So it's funny, like you were saying that you don't understand like why you didn't mind running back to bosses in this game, but you hated it in Dark Souls. It's the same way in CRPGs and Dark Souls for me. Like I love starting over on Dark Souls and trying out new builds and playing the whole game that way. But for some reason in CRPGs, I'm just never satisfied. I think part of it, if I were to try and like pinpoint what the reason is, it's because I like the mechanics in Dark Souls, and I don't necessarily even like the mechanics in the first place in the CRPGs.
I think there's the fact that you are like in Dark Souls, you do a new build, but then you have to use your skills to use that build.
Right.
Whereas in a CRPG, you do a new build, and the build's just a build. There's not really any skills involved, especially if it's turn-based.
Most CRPGs, it's a matter of setting... You prepare for combat, and then you execute that preparation. And I love the preparation aspect, but when it comes to the actual execution, it's like, this is already a foregone conclusion at this point. Like, why am I even watching this? Why don't we just skip ahead? You know? Like, that's how I feel about it.
I mean, the more mechanics that they involve, I think the more intriguing it gets. It's why... the game that I've probably played the most straight through was Divinity Original Sin, because
I love Divinity Original Sin.
Yeah, it felt
but
very
there's an execution to that, yeah. And I think that's what it boils down to. But Grokken was saying suboptimal parties are part of the fun of surviving in CRPGs. And I think that's where the difference is that I guess I just don't appreciate that as much, because I am, as Nick would attest, I am a... compulsive optimizer, and I just can't stop myself. Like, whenever I play D&D, I'm like, I'm just going to play whatever this time. I'm just going to roll with it and just deal with it the whole time. And then every single time, like, I'm like, but I can do this, and I can do this, and I can come up with all these awesome things I can do. And then I'm like, okay, I'm not going with what I was going to go with anymore.
Well, that's why I think CRPGs are at their best when you're not playing them at max difficulty. Because typically with max difficulty, you have to go with very specific builds.
Yeah. And honestly, I think that there needs to be some other element there. Otherwise, it's just a matter of statistics. To me, is the way I look at it. I consider Munchkin again. The Munchkin card game is actually a lot of fun. No,
except one of our that we played with took the if you can get away with it, you can cheat rule to heart very aggressively.
That was the fun of playing with that person, though. That person may even be watching this stream at some point, so you better watch out what you say.
I don't think it's a bad thing. You definitely made the games entertaining.
I don't know if anybody remembers Jacob from when we started Environmental Station Alpha, who used to join us on this stream. So don't get me wrong. My favorite thing about tabletop RPGs is the role-playing aspect. And when I optimize my characters, it's not a matter of me trying to break the game or whatever. It's just that I don't know. I look at the numbers and So my job and my real life job is a financial analyst. So it's just kind of baked into me, you know.
Well, it's a perfect example of where Q and I divert in how we approach games, as we both played Remnant a couple of months ago, and you get perks in Remnant where you can level from 1 to 20, and one of the perks is just a flat bonus to experience gain, and as soon as we unlock that, Q had to put his next 20 points just into that. And I'm like, man, we're not even going to get to max level. There's no way we're even going to get the benefit of that. And he's like, I got to do it.
It's just the best thing to do. It is the most optimal thing. I absolutely hate you get more money or more experience perks, because they're almost always like, basically you nerf your early game so you can have an easy end game. And to me, I'm a long-term investor. Like, oh gosh.
Oh, Jake is in the stream.
That's hilarious. Is he texting you right now?
Yeah.
That's
apparently
hilarious.
He can't chat for some reason. That's weird.
Yeah, I think I hear it coming on my phone. That's funny. I can't check my phone right now, Jake. Sorry.
And just to reiterate, I love playing Munchkin with you. Just wanted to point that out.
Actually, we should do that sometime. You want to do that tonight? That would be fun. Let's get on Tabletop
The problem
Simulator.
with playing it through Board Game Simulator is that doing the whole cheating thing is either a combination of way too easy or way too hard. Depending on if the log is on or not.
And yeah, so to Silver Inch, I am the player that they're talking about, not with that phrase. Given the opportunity, the players will optimize the fun out of everything. I actually
Yes.
one of the things I have to do when I'm reviewing games is sit back and think about what the game would be like if I didn't do that. And then usually you'll see me write in the review, there's this dominant strategy that ruined the game for me, but if you don't do that, it might not be a bad game. Oh gosh, what was the game? Oh, it was yeah, I won't mention it. I reviewed it a couple weeks ago, though. That basically happened. Although that game was completely random what it provided to you, so even if you didn't pay attention to the details like that, like I do, there was a chance that you wouldn't even get the ability in the first place because of the randomness. I am apparently paying way too much attention to the conversation and not enough attention to the bugs smacking me in the face. Luckily, this game is pretty forgiving. Unless the boss is, coming at you.
I love the health system in this game too.
Oh yeah, no. The best thing about this health system is that it keeps tension, but it doesn't discourage. Or I'm like, okay, when you're playing a Metroidvania, one of the hardest things, like when I'm playing Castlevania, and you get damaged, the only thing that you can do is drink a potion or whatever to get it back. Do you need the dash in order to get through this? I think you can get through this without the dash. I like that you can kind of scope out these platforming challenges before you start them. I'm thinking I'm going to need the dash and
you're gonna
probably the wall jump there, so we'll come back to this.
Need...
I didn't buy any map markers, did I? Not that it matters. I don't know exactly where I am right now anyway.
I like once you get the quill, when he sits on the bench, he actually takes it out and sits there and starts working on his map.
Yeah. A lot of little details. Can I get that thing right now? No, I need the dash. I think. You can't pogo jump on water. I think I just went in circles. I need to find a bench so I can update my map so I can get a better idea of where I am. Let's go this way. I think this is where Hornet's hiding. Okay, no, we have to go around the top side. Oh, you... Venus flytrap. I'm not a fly, I'm like a beetle or something.
He actually, fun fact, the beginning of this game actually alludes to the development of Silksong, because you keep seeing Hornet in the distance, but you never seem to get any closer to her.
Okay, I took a wrong turn over here. I think I need to turn left at some point. Yeah, it's funny, the times that I played this for the recordings for the stream or the videos I've made recently, I didn't get lost. So clearly, I pay more attention to talking.
Yeah, talking at the same time.
It's fine. It just means more geo in the long run. From killing things. I think just kind of keep hanging left here. We just updated our map, so... Jerk exploders. I like to think that I'm just helping that guy by putting him out of his misery, because, if I were just hanging out, I wouldn't want to be exploding all the time.
You wouldn't want to be a zombie?
Yeah, in general that would be true, but yes. Okay, so I want to say that's where we're going to go, but I think we want to keep going up. I could grab the compass. I probably should.
Just early on.
Honestly, it's probably a good idea for me to do. I actually haven't equipped any charms yet. Next time I have a bench, I should probably equip charms. Okay, this is the old men fight. That's right.
I mean, if we weren't talking and paying more attention, it's easier to get around. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the main reason why I should probably grab the charms.
Is there a game where they have downward thrust and it's not satisfying to use?
It's almost always good. One of my other goals of this playthrough is to try and use spells more often, because I barely used them my first time. Oh, yeah.
Well, you can build for it.
Hollow Knight would look good as an animated TV show. I have no idea what they would do with the plot, though.
Yeah, that'd be tough.
Like,
I mean, Unless they really played into like the Saturday morning cartoon and they just made stuff up.
Yeah, it reminds me of the first thing I think of is the Kirby cartoon, where just basically nothing happened.
And you know, if they did that, that they would call this little guy the Hollow Knight, and it wouldn't make any sense because nobody that's on the writing team actually ever played the game.
Right. Yeah, like I see the potential there. I don't see that there's a system in place that would allow that to be anything other than awkward and ultimately pointless. Oh yeah, we gotta save.
Blasphemous would make an interesting Saturday morning cartoon.
That should be done by the people who did the Castlevania cartoon.
Oh yeah, that's supposed to. I watched the first season. I should watch more of that.
Yeah, that's pretty.
By the way,
it's compelling.
The Hollow Knight cartoon, its opening theme song would just be the DuckTales theme song, but instead of DuckTales, you'd say Hollow Knight. You'd be like, Hollow Knight, woohoo!
Bugs are everywhere and in your hair. Hollow Knight.
Just what do you think you're doing? You dare come between me and my prey? Is that a habit of yours to scurry about, getting in the way and causing bother? Know this, cur. I am Zoot the Mighty, a knight of great renown. Cross me again, and you'll find out why they call my life, or my weapon, Life Ender.
I love that.
The Zoat fights.
I gotta allow this real quick. I don't know what that was, but... Ghost is probably the... If they were paying attention to the lore of the game, Ghost would probably be the best thing to call the Hollow... or the Knight.
Me.
Oh, you're saying they would get it backwards. They would call the Hollow Knight the Ghost, and they would call this guy the Hollow Knight. Maybe,
totally
that'd be
would.
funny. Alright, let's see. Hold band there. Let's go ahead and take...
I like he's just chilling in leaves.
I was teasing Salmes in the Metroidvania Review Discord because he plays a lot of, like, the fighting chicken game or whatever.
Fighting chicken game?
Oh, you gotta see this.
What are you talking about? Is that the actual name of the game?
Yeah, it's like Great Fighting Chicken. It's some Chinese game that was just really awful. Or game made in China. Chinese developer. There are a lot of good games made by Chinese developers. I'm not saying that because it's Chinese it's somehow lower quality, but...
Oh wow. Jake says that he has a relative that works for Powerhouse Studios who made Castlevania.
Oh, wow.
So he's going to pass that along, and he's going to make the Hollow Knight, or the Blasphemous cartoon, reality. So look forward to that, everyone. We just broke that.
Clearly I was not winning that fight, so I'm going to try and get some juice back real quick. Although I'm probably going to lose
juice
here.
back. Well, you don't get juice from him unless you land a hit on the ground.
Yes, I know. I'm probably going to accidentally run into the grub and die, which is going to annoy me. Ah, darn it. I knew this was happening. Yeah, let's try not to lose that 900 geo. Nicely, it puts you. It shows you where the thing was. It looks like there was a shortcut I should have unlocked that I didn't. But we don't have to fight the giant fly again. Oh gosh, there's a couple of Chinese Metroidvanias. There was one of them that I reported on that didn't even have a title in English yet. And I think one of them still doesn't have a title in English. I haven't played any yet, though. I think that... I mean, I played a few Taiwanese, or Taiwan-developed Metroidvania games. Like Rabby Ribby is Taiwan.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Which, depending on who you're talking to, that is Chinese.
We don't have to get into that.
My bachelor's degree is in Asian studies, so I have been into that. We're gonna ignore you. even though you have plenty of geo on you. Because we want to get our ghost first.
Just the backgrounds in this game are so incredible.
I have not been to Asia, funny enough. I never could afford it, like even when I was doing the Asian studies thing. So that's ironic. I also work for a company that all of our factories are in Asia, and I still haven't been to Asia, so it's funny. I never like pushed for it though. Is Fist a Chinese developer? I think so. So yeah, there's nothing that says that. Oh gosh, this is a bad situation to be in right now. We're hearing the little music that it plays when you're near your ghost.
Oh yeah, the like
There he is.
music box.
Yeah. Alright, let's try and kill these guys now that we actually have some soul to go with. Get a double hit. Where are you guys? I think that's hilarious that Jacob heard us. I am in fact watching.
Aha! I was there the whole time.
I knew there was going to be a lot of deaths on this stream just because I am playing live, and that's always going to happen. Normally I play this deathless with no damage, so what you guys are really seeing me at my worst right now. I'm lying, of course. Come on, give me some juice. I don't like dealing with your shield. No, don't spit at me. That's rude. Rude to spit.
I always thought the nail upgrades in this game felt real substantive.
Yeah. Somebody went through basically the entire game without getting the nail upgrades, and our Metroidvania Discord was telling us about it. I couldn't even imagine.
That just sounds tedious.
You know what? I actually have juice now, so let's just take him out.
Can you imagine the final fight if you were doing like a quarter of the damage you normally do?
Gosh, yeah, seriously. Okay, there's the shortcut. I wish I had realized that was there. I would have unlocked that first before I tried to get my soul back. Okay. Oh, did you tell... Okay, Anime Ray, I may have tattled on this is what happened. I don't know. Maybe he was watching the whole time. Yeah, I am looking forward to... I look forward to every Metroidvania that I hear about, to be honest. I try not to play favorites until after I've reviewed them. I mean, obviously when I review games I have to play favorites because that's part of being critical, but before I know enough about a game, I try not to make judgments, even if it looks terrible.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to do. As human beings, we kind of love to judge things.
Prejudge things, more importantly.
True.
I think that once you've played the game, you can at least, attest to your experience in a way that... I mean, obviously I can give my impressions of a thing and talk about what concerns me about it, but of course I will never know unless I either, talk to somebody who has that experience or get the experience myself. I don't want to suggest that you can't learn about a game without playing it, because you can, but... In fact, that's the whole point of reading reviews.
Sure.
Let's see. There's hundreds of Metroidvanias coming out right now. Oh my gosh, I have my backlog is of just
Endless.
Keys at this point has gotten to the point where I never had to postpone keys that were sent to me, and I'm starting to have to do that now, and that saddens me because I really think every developer needs their chance. Okay, we just went in circles, but I think we needed to go left. Let's try that again. This is just the shortcut back. Was there a passageway I missed? Let's see. From the Minitroid. I don't know if I played Minitroid yet. Although I have heard of Elysium Stardiver. I mean, I will say, like, the games I'm looking forward to the most. I can't wait till Ender Lilies finishes. I just heard a grub. Where is he? Oh no, that's not the grub. That's this thing. Stop making noises like a grub. So we've been to the... Okay, I think that where I'm supposed to go is above. And to the left. I don't think we need to go back to the bench. Minitroid was a mini demo. Okay, I think this is where she's hiding. Yes. I love mini Metroidvanias. I know that not everybody does, but... Come no closer, ghost. I've seen you creeping through the undergrowth, stalking me. This old kingdom, a terrible thing awakens. I smell it in the air. I know what you are. I know what you try to do. I can't allow it. But enough talk. Have at you. I like that either she gets better as the game progresses, or she's holding back here. Which, I mean, it makes sense that she would get better if you get better.
Well, there's elements to her. Yeah, there's elements to her attacks that get added in, like the little, like, spiky balls that she doesn't use at all here.
I love how stylish this fight is. Like, it's a fun fight to watch because of the acrobatics that you have to perform while doing it.
Yeah, she's a super fun character. I mean, you know what they should do? It'd be neat if they made a game about her.
Oh, she's not giving me very many opportunities. Oh no. Oh, come on. We have to first try at least one boss during this stream.
You know, one interesting thing, and no ETA on Silk Song yet.
I do not have any inside information on that, by the way, so... If Team Cherry contacts me and gives me the information, then I'll probably be under NDA anyway. I would like it if Team Cherry contacted me and gave me the information, though, so I could take like a week off of work to review it.
Yeah, that'd be great. But I think by the time it comes out, you'll probably be retired, so you should be fine.
Are you saying this is going to come out at the same time as, what is it called? I can't even make a joke about it because I'm too busy focusing on this fight. Star Citizen.
Oh, Star Citizen.
Star Citizen.
No, because...
Silk Sonic Edition.
Because I think Silk Song's probably eventually going to come out.
At this point, Star Citizen probably shouldn't come out.
At this point, I don't think Star Citizen, as promised, it's not even possible to make that game.
Yeah. I like how she leaves a corpse behind. She's just carrying it with her.
Yeah, but it'll loot.
At this point, Silksong can take as long as it wants. I don't want to say that because that's going to hurt a lot of people, but...
I have no problem waiting. What I find annoying is the lack of communication between the dev and the community.
I like that this happens after Hornet. Was this like this in the original release of this game, or did they add this scene here?
I don't know.
Where the three dreamers pop up.
Yeah, because the dreamers got added later, didn't they?
No, the dreamers was the original. The original quest was killing the three dreamers.
Oh yeah, awaken.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that was added later. I mean, maybe
it was. I just don't remember. It has been 3 years, so. But like when that happened, I was like, I don't remember this. You know, and this is like what, an hour into the game, and You know, by the time you get to that point, it's like 20 hours into the game. All right, so we're going to talk to Quirrell, and then we're going to actually put some charms on. Hello there. It seems we both tread far from the path. I can hardly believe those dusty old highways led to such a lush and lively place. This building suggests some form of worship, though its idol has clearly been long forgotten. Doubles equally well for a moment's respite. A moment's respite indeed. I don't even remember what button to push. Okay, that's good. No, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. I think if you tap quickly, you can overcharm yourself. I've never done it.
Can you?
Yep.
Seems like an oversight. I like that this.
No,
looks like
it's
you'd be able to
intended.
talk to him, and he's just an enemy. Like he was just chilling, looking at the water, and you just come up and stab him in the back.
Okay. I am just not good at fighting these guys on stream. To be fair, I'm not good at fighting these guys, period, but...
No communication since September doesn't bode well.
No. I mean, there are a lot of developers that just go silent for a while. Anyway,
yeah, but usually the sad thing about that is usually that happens when release is far enough out that they don't care about drawing up buzz.
Yeah. I don't know why it censored that just now, but I had to let that comment through just now. And yes, I am a monster. Are we the baddies? Our head is literally a skull.
There's skulls on everything.
Yeah. Every game is built from dreams, and not every dream comes true. And sad to say, this is the reality of things. That's the other thing, is I have all these games that are coming, and you know, I want to report on all of them. However, you know, I wonder how many are actually going to make it.
What was the other thing that it auto-modded that was weird?
Samus is not a robot.
Oh, yeah.
That was the best Autobot. I have no idea what that was about. Oh gosh. Okay, so I just need to go straight down and left. We're gonna try and get to the shop real quick. I think it's right actually, but we're gonna go left anyway. Maybe this is it. Okay, no, this isn't it. I like the City of Tears signpost there. Ah, the dash. The ability you get that you have to tap the R trigger for the rest of your life.
UFO 50?
Oh no. Planned release Q4 2018. Now, when they don't update the release date, that is a bad sign, in my opinion. Or at least it's unprofessional. I like how I just wake up this pregnant bug and just start flapping it.
Yeah, I think in a lot of these games, we kind of figured out that you're just kind of a jerk.
Well, she left her door locked. What am I supposed to do? The only option is to kill her. And then kill all her babies.
I don't think this is her house. She was just in here.
Sure, but she's still a pregnant bug.
True.
I like, somebody made a forum post in like the last couple of weeks, and it's like, oh, this bug is so cute. Oh my gosh, this is disgusting. So messed up. I just love the cutesy cartoon innards right there. Still cute.
Chibi guts.
Alright, let's go ahead and rest at this bench. And as tempting as it is, we're not going to be doing much with this lady. I love this lady. She's so great. She's just her design is just fantastic to me.
Oh yeah, she's great.
Anyway, we'll come back and spend all our geo on her later, because that is
Actually,
where you spend all your geo.
One interesting thing is, if you look at her house, there's like gas roiling out of her house, and if you go into her house, she's surrounded with her own pink gas. I wonder if that's like, oh, this is why she doesn't go crazy.
She's got her perfume, or maybe she is crazy.
Yeah,
I like these characters that have the haze on their eyes when you meet them.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Sly. Go back so I can buy your lamp. Oh, wait. Did you go back to the village? Okay. I still need
took the back
700 geo to get the lamp. So, mostly I wanted to unlock him early so that we can get to him more quickly. Alright, let's go to the left here just to make sure we cover it on our map.
Isn't that the path that's blocked later?
It might be, actually. I think the path, like, right through the middle is what's blocked. I think we want to keep going this way, actually, so... Mossmuff and friends were making a collection of 50 Foz vintage games. Derek Yu is understandably a bit more invested in Spelunky 2. Let's see. But that's out, there's still no news. I know that one of the developers that was behind it is dead now, but I really would like it if Derek Yu made Aquaria 2, since the game teases that in its true ending. Because I think there's still a lot of potential for Aquaria. You'll have to forgive me, I don't remember their name, but they also made Night of the Woods. Yeah. I don't remember their name off the top of my head, unfortunately. Nick could look that up. Look at the Night of the Woods.
I'm looking it up right now.
Tragic story. Not
Alec Halawalka?
maybe that was it.
Scott Benson and Bethany Hockenberry.
I think it was Alec. You could also look up Aquaria and just look up the one that's not Derek Yu.
Yeah. Alec Halawalka tragically died in 2019.
Yeah, sad story.
Jeez, he was only 36. That's brutal.
Yeah. Younger than me at this point.
Yikes. Suicide. Well, that's horrible.
Yeah. Never fun to talk about, but I would like to see Aquaria 2 be made still. In spite of that tragedy. I do not want to be in the fungal... And actually, I do want to be in the fungal wastes. We're trying to make our way to the mantis folks so that we could ruin their village too. It's okay, they got the yellow goo in them. They must be killed.
That's how you can tell they're bad.
Yeah. It's not racist or something. What is that? That wouldn't be racist. It's just horrible. Oh, hey, it's this guy. I can't remember what he does. Oh, no, he sells the breakable...
Yeah. Which you can actually now, with DLC, turn into unbreakable versions. It's incredibly expensive.
Oh, I can imagine that's really good.
Yeah, it's somebody... I think he got added in the Dark Troop DLC.
Well, generally speaking, when people are, at that point, they're not in the best mental state, so...
People that aren't happy with themselves are typically not happy with those around them.
Right. Tough situation. Let's go check out the station. I think that's a good place to go right now. I went a completely different direction when I recorded this for the video last week.
That's what makes this game great.
It is what makes this game great. It makes it incredibly replayable. So I had just barely started adding the detailed scores. to reviews, and I was like, how do I rate Hollow Knight? Like, I had to go back and do old reviews that I didn't necessarily remember. So a lot of my older reviews probably should just be rewritten at this point. But that's true of any critic if you ask them, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure.
I like this lady. Aha, the tiny steps of a tiny creature. You got the look of an adventurer. We have so much in common. Searching for dangerous places. Aye. Well, you're on the right track. A long-necked critter warned me of a tribe deeper down. A warrior of sorts, so she says, and I'm itching for some serious combat.
I think the long-necked creature is the one eating snacks.
So, if you ask the developers, or there was a developer interview that was done, and they actually drew the map, and then they started adding the extra connections after they figured out what their main route was, I believe.
I imagine that kind of design is very challenging.
Yeah. Abusing pogo jumps is fun, though. I mean, I've already gotten a couple of things just on this stream from doing that. Spikes are the best because you can pogo across them. Let's see. And pointless shortcut, because, I mean, I guess you could come back to... I thought I could go underneath there, but looks like I can't. Okay, this game does have camera pan down. One of my favorite features, as I've said before.
I think you can sequence break up into the caves a lot earlier than you were able to traditionally.
I was reading the chat while that guy was exploding. All these guys explode. What is this place? I like how Hornet's just like your guide. It's like, follow me. That leads to progress. It's actually pretty smart, though.
Yeah, lets you know you're moving in the right direction.
She's like the Ridley of this game, except she's a good guy. Good girl? I can't. What do you
Good bug.
Good bug. She went that way. I'm going to keep going that way because I want to get the wall climb as quickly as possible here. Although we do have only about 15 minutes left. Oh, no, she's coming this way so she can tell me that I need the wall climb in order to get through here. That's right.
You should have grabbed her right there. She would have pulled you across.
How come I don't have a cool silk grappling hook?
You
Gosh.
probably will eventually when a certain game comes out.
That's going to be cool. Hollow Knight with a grappling hook.
Yeah, I hope they work it into combat.
See, Bloodstained and every Metroidvania should have sequence breaking in mind, because I think that's one of the most fun activities you can do in a Metroidvania. Go places where it feels like you're not allowed. That's like half the fun. If it doesn't have that, then I think it loses a little bit when it comes to the exploration aspect. Or can, anyway.
I legit never knew you could attack those projectiles and would just run from them until they hit a wall.
So I said in the stream Wednesday that I will like face tank into things just to see what it does to me. I think my brother calls it for sciencing the the mechanic. Like we were playing Remnant, I just jumped off a cliff. I'm like, does this kill me? Oh, it kills me. It's like, you know, unless the game has like permadeath to death or something like that, there's really no reason not to. Although your strategy of waiting until they hit the wall is probably better. Because if you don't kill it with the tip of your nail,
Perfect, yeah, with perfect timing.
Then you take damage. Oops. I should not be reading the chat when I'm running into a friendly local. So when I was recording footage, this is about as far as I got because I wanted to make sure I had footage of the Mantis Lords. And it took me a while to figure out the pattern to get these guys. Figure out the pattern again to get these guys without taking a hit. Little change-ups on your monster designs helps keep it fresh.
Definitely.
I also like how
there's
this
so
guy
many.
takes a step back so that you don't have to fall off that cliff there. Just kind of courtesy of him to do. Get out of here. The flyers are always the worst as far as difficulty goes.
Well, enemies that back away from you are always annoying.
I love these bouncy things. They're just so fun. Is this a DLC thing? Actually, I have no idea where any of the DLC stuff is. Let's see. Random... talking about Bloodstained random mode. So when I was recording footage for the top 10 last week, I was thinking about doing a little bit of random mode, but then I'm like, if I get sucked into this, I'm not going to get other things done, so...
Well, there's no rush. We're going to be playing this game for a while.
Oh.
This might close in on Blasphemous for how many sessions we spend playing this.
Oh gosh, it's gonna be more for sure. It's actually one of the things I wanted to talk about is that we are playing this game. It's going to be the main weekly thing, but I am going to take breaks from it because I don't want to make it all Hollow all the time. So we'll have demo weeks once a month, or demo showcases or other events. One of them being in, what did I say, June 19th? I sent you the date earlier today, Nick.
Yeah, I think it was June 19th.
So on the our Metroidvania Discord, people have... let me gain my composure here again. I just jumped off a cliff and I just did it again. Okay, obviously when I'm doing System 2 thinking, I can't platform. June 19th, we're doing a race of Aria of Sorrow, which is another game I haven't played for 18 months, so I'm probably not going to be the winner. But there'll be, I think, at least 4 people also joining in. I'm going to figure out how to show everybody's screen on the stream. So that'll be a fun event. You can root for your favorite racer. Don't root for me because you will lose.
They can root for you.
They can root for me. I'll be the underdog. I'll put it that way. You can root for the underdog.
That looks like a great place to just hang out.
So yeah, that'll be, 3 weeks from now? Instead of Hollow Knight, we'll be doing that. Okay, this is an optional. Actually, I think we have to go this way in order to continue. With that... That ting makes me think that opens at some point. Dashmaster. I think Dashmaster is the one that doesn't give you any cooldown on it, so you can just kind of dash everywhere.
Yeah, but in combat, it's got... Well, I guess it'd be effective in combat.
Okay, maybe I go to...
I never use it.
Darn it.
There's certain ones that I very rarely use. The ones that give you pets, I usually didn't use very often.
I like the pets. I enjoyed using them.
The first time I beat the game, my bread and butter was the build that basically just let you face tank bosses.
Yeah, that doesn't work on the final boss though.
No, it does not.
So you don't want to make that your bread and butter. As far as getting practicing goes, I would recommend not using that build.
I mean, it doesn't work for everybody, but
Sure. It works for a lot of things, though.
it does.
Personally, I think it's better to kind of get good at things. But it's also fun to take things, too, so...
Hey, sometimes I just want to beat the game.
I know, I get it. I'm not criticizing you.
And then you get to the final boss, and you fight them 250 times.
I also did the face tank build because it's fun and effective. That's the other part.
Yes.
All right, there's a geocache behind this guy. I'm gonna take it.
There's tons of all builds you can do. I've seen magic builds.
Yeah, I actually ended up beating the final boss with a magic build. The final boss that I keep avoiding their name for some reason, even though we're just kind of
Yeah, I don't know why.
anyway.
It's Radiance. Radiance final boss. Because if you don't know that, then you probably don't even know who Radiance is.
That's true. Okay, I think this is the entrance. That's where we're trying to go. We actually don't have much time left, though, so I'm wondering if I should just call it at this point.
Yeah, we only have like 5 minutes.
There's no bench in here, right? Let's see. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. See if we can get the wall climb. This game saves automatically, so we can technically go until the last minute and still make progress. At the very least, we'll get Geo, so we'll try and we'll try and make it. Okay,
yeah, I don't think there's a bench down here.
There's a 1-2 punch. Yeah, I don't think there is. I think there might be one closer to the Mantis Lords, but... Oop. 1-2 punch.
There's one like up and to the left, I want to say. In fact, I think Queen Station is somewhere up there.
So generally speaking, I save my energy for healing myself, which is why I never used it. But I'm noticing here that you kind of get a lot back.
Oh yeah, you refill your energy pretty darn quick.
Like, after killing it. I know that didn't work that time, but...
And if you equip the charms that give you like bonus energy from hits, you're basically almost always topping up.
So you said I'm talking to Dr. Octorocket. You just finished the Dawn of Sorrow randomizer. Oh. Yeah, I don't like the puzzles in Dawn of Sorrow. By the way, if anybody wants to join in on that Aria of Sorrow race, just come to the Metroidvania Discord and let me know, or come to my Discord too is another option, the Metroidvania review site Discord. Let me know and we'll get you signed up. I'll figure out how many screens I could actually stream at once. That's going to be possibly the sticking point. Same, we got to the Mantis Claw, and that was only like a minute.
Yeah, that wasn't bad.
That's how close we were. We will not be fighting the Mantis Lords before we quit today, though, so we're going to try and unlock as many shortcuts as we can, and then we'll call it. Wall jump! I think we might have enough for the lamp coming soon.
How much is it? 2,000?
1,800.
Oh, alright.
Is this a shortcut back? Whoops. Let's see where this leads real quick. I remember this. Oh, this is a dreamer thing. We'll ignore this for now.
Good old wheel trees.
I think I just respawned all the enemies in here. I like the 2-room rule that the original Zelda used, that Barbarian also uses. Not that this game, the rooms in this game are big enough that it doesn't really hurt it that much to have enemies respawn when you leave a room, but...
I didn't know original Zelda did that. You had to go 2 rooms away to respawn enemies.
That's the, I think that's the rule. That seems right. I played a couple of original Zelda mods recently that...
Reminds me, I've been playing Moonlighter, which reminds me a lot of Zelda in its combat. Mm-hmm. Then it's got like business management side, like shop management that I'm enjoying.
Oh yeah, that's right. Called Moonlighter because that's what they did in their off time.
Yeah, you moonlight as an adventurer.
It's such a fun concept. Yeah, I agree. I like it more when enemies don't respawn right when you step out the door. But like I said, the rooms in this game are big enough that it kind of feels like it doesn't matter. But like when you have those games that have like square rooms,
yeah,
that gets really annoying. Yeah. Somebody, one of the games I played, that was how difficulty modes worked, is it changed how enemies respawn when you leave rooms, and the hardest difficulty, they just came back all the time. And like, that just makes the game more annoying, not more fun. Like, people don't put on hard difficulty because they want tedium, you know?
Yeah, because they want more enemies to kill.
They want what hard mode is good for is expanding the mechanics in interesting ways. And if your hard mode doesn't do that, like if it's just literally more difficult, then you're failing to accomplish what hard mode is supposed to be. That's my opinion. Anyway, that's a good way to end the stream. We can talk about that more in the future.
We'll pick that up next week.
All right, so that was session 1 of Hollow Knight, and next time we'll definitely be hitting up the Mantis Lords and most likely buying the lamp and heading into the Crystal Caves next time is my plan. So thank you again for watching, and we'll see you next week.